No fun in youth, wild in old age. I left all work behind to finally live and have fun at 65. The title of today's video sounds crazy, right? If you're new here, I'm so glad you joined us. This is a place where we talk about the real stuff, the joys, the challenges, and the deep emotions that come with growing older. Today, I want to share a story that's close to my heart, a story about breaking free, chasing dreams, and finding joy in the later years of life. I know that might sound a little crazy to some of you. At 65, most people are slowing down, settling into retirement, maybe spending their days gardening or watching TV. But for me, 65 was the age I decided to start living, really living, for the first time in my life. I spent decades working hard, raising kids, paying bills, and doing what I thought I was supposed to do. I put my dreams on hold, told myself I'd get to them someday. But that someday never came until I turned 65, looked in the mirror, and said, enough is enough. It's time to have some fun. So, today, I want to take you on this journey with me. I want to share what it was like to leave everything behind, all the work, the responsibilities, the expectations, and finally chase the joy I'd been missing for so long. I hope my story inspires you to think about your own life, your own dreams, and maybe even take a chance on something new, no matter how old you are. So, grab a cup of coffee, settle in, and let's talk about it. If this resonates with you, please hit that like button, subscribe, and leave a comment sharing your own story. Let's get started. My name is Robert, and I'm 67 years old now. I grew up in a small town in Ohio, in the heart of the U.S., where life was simple but expectations were high. My dad was a factory worker. My mom stayed home to raise me and my two sisters. And we were taught from a young age that hard work was the key to a good life. You go to school, you get a job, you start a family, you provide. That was the path laid out for me. And I followed it to a T. I didn't question it. I didn't think I had a choice. I got my first job at 16, working at a local grocery store, bagging groceries and stocking shelves. After high school, I went to community college, got a degree in accounting, and landed a job at a small firm in Cleveland. It wasn't glamorous, but it paid the bills. I met my wife, Linda, when I was 24, and we got married a year later. We had 3 kids, James, who's 40 now, Lisa, who's 38, and Mark, who's 35. I love my family more than anything, and I wanted to give them the best life I could. So I worked hard. For 40 years, I sat at a desk, crunching numbers, balancing books, meeting deadlines. I'd wake up at 6 a.m., be at the office by 8, and often not get home until 7 or 8 at night. Weekends were for catching up on chores, mowing the lawn, fixing the car, helping the kids with homework. I was always tired, always stressed, always thinking about the next bill, the next mortgage payment, the next college tuition. I told myself it was worth it, that I was doing it for my family, that this was what being a good husband and father looked like. But looking back, I realized I missed out on a lot. I didn't have fun in my youth. I didn't take risks, didn't travel, didn't chase dreams. I wanted to. I had dreams. Believe me, I wanted to ride a motorcycle across the country, to see the Grand Canyon at sunrise, to learn how to surf, to dance at a music festival until midnight. But I told myself those things were for other people, not for me. I had responsibilities. I had a family to take care of. I couldn't afford to be reckless, to take time for myself. So I put those dreams in a box, locked them away, and focused on what I thought I had to do. I think a lot of us in the West, especially here in the U.S. and the U.K., grow up with this mindset, don't we? We're taught that life is about working hard, providing, being responsible, especially for men of my generation. There was this expectation that you had to be the provider, the rock, the one who kept everything together. You didn't complain, you didn't take breaks, you didn't chase silly dreams. You worked, you sacrificed, you put your family first. And I did that. I did it for 40 years. But here's the thing. While I was busy working, life was passing me by. My kids grew up so fast. One day, James was learning to ride a bike, and the next, he was graduating college. Lisa used to beg me to play tea party with her. And then suddenly, she was getting married. Mark would ask me to take him fishing, but I was always too busy, and now he's got his own kids. I was there for the big moments. Sure, I was at their graduations, their weddings, the birth of my grandkids, but I missed so many of the little ones. I missed the moments that make life sweet, the moments that make you feel alive. And it wasn't just my kids I missed out on. I missed out on myself, too. I didn't take care of my health. I gained weight. I had high blood pressure. I was always stressed. I didn't nurture my friendships. Most of my old buddies drifted away because I never had time to grab a beer or go to a ball game. I didn't nurture my marriage, either. Linda and I loved each other, but we were more like partners running a business than lovers living a life. We were so focused on keeping the family afloat that we forgot to have fun together, to laugh, to dream. Linda passed away 6 years ago, and that hit me hard. I wish I'd taken her dancing more. Wish I'd taken her on that trip to Paris she always talked about. I wish I'd lived more while she was still here. By the time I turned 64, I was tired. Not just physically tired, but so tired. I'd been working at the same accounting firm for nearly 40 years, and I felt like I was just going through the motions. I'd look at my life and think, is this it? Is this all there is? I'd given everything to my job, to my family, to my responsibilities, but I hadn't given anything to myself. I hadn't lived, not really. I hadn't laughed until my sides hurt, hadn't felt the wind in my hair, hadn't done anything just for the pure joy of it. I felt like I'd spent my whole life building a foundation for everyone else, but I'd forgotten to build anything for me. I think a lot of folks my age in the West feel this way, especially here in the U.S. We spend our lives working, saving, planning for retirement, but when we finally get there, we don't know what to do with ourselves. We've spent so long being responsible that we forget how to have fun, how to be spontaneous, how to live for ourselves. I read somewhere that a lot of retirees struggle with depression because they feel like they've lost their purpose. They've spent decades working and suddenly they're free, but they don't know what to do with that freedom. I didn't want that to be me. I didn't want to spend my golden years sitting on a couch, watching the world go by. I wanted to live. So when I turned 65, I made a decision, a big one. I decided to leave it all behind. I retired from my job, sold my house in Cleveland, and set out to finally have some fun. I know that sounds drastic, and it was. My kids thought I'd lost my mind. James said, "Dad, you're 65. You can't just up and leave everything." Lisa was worried I'd get hurt or run out of money. Mark just laughed and said, "Well, if this is what you want, go for it, Dad." But I could tell they were all a little nervous. And honestly, I was nervous too. I'd spent my whole life playing it safe, following the rules, doing what I was supposed to do. This was the first time I'd ever done something just for me. The first thing I did was buy a motorcycle. I'd always wanted one, ever since I was a teenager watching old movies about guys riding across the country, the wind in their hair, not a care in the world. I found a used Harley-Davidson online, a beautiful black one, and I bought it without even telling my kids. The day I picked it up, I felt like a kid on Christmas morning. I got on that bike, felt the engine rumble beneath me, and I just laughed. I laughed out loud, right there in the parking lot, because for the first time in years, I felt free. I decided to ride across the country, something I dreamed about since I was 20. I packed a small bag, strapped it to the bike, and hit the road. I didn't have a plan, didn't have a map, just a vague idea of heading west, seeing where the road took me. The first few days were terrifying. I hadn't ridden a motorcycle in decades, and I was worried I'd crash or get lost. But as the miles went by, I started to relax. I started to feel the freedom I'd been craving for so long. I'd ride for hours, the sun on my face, the wind in my hair, the open road stretching out in front of me. I'd stop at little diners, talk to strangers, listen to their stories. I'd pull over just to watch a sunset, to feel the quiet of the world around me. For the first time in my life, I wasn't rushing. I wasn't stressed. I was just living. One of my favorite stops was the Grand Canyon. I'd always wanted to see it, but I'd never made the time. I got there just as the sun was rising, and I stood at the edge, looking out at that massive, beautiful canyon. All those colors, reds, oranges, purples, stretching out as far as I could see. I felt tears in my eyes, not because I was sad, but because I was so happy. I thought, I'm 65 years old, and I'm finally here. I'm finally doing this. I wish Linda could have been there with me. But I felt her spirit, you know? I felt like she was smiling down on me, saying, "Go for it, Robert." Live. After the Grand Canyon, I kept going. I rode to California, all the way to the Pacific Ocean. I'd never seen the ocean before. Can you believe that? I grew up in Ohio, lived in Cleveland my whole life, and I'd never been to the coast. I parked my bike, took off my shoes, and walked right into the water. It was cold, but I didn't care. I stood there, the waves crashing around my ankles, and I laughed again. I felt alive, more alive than I'd ever felt in my 40 years of sitting at a desk. While I was in California, I decided to try something else I'd always wanted to do: learn to surf. I know, a 65-year-old man on a surfboard, it sounds ridiculous. But I found a little surf shop in Santa Cruz that offered lessons for beginners, and I signed up. The instructor was this young guy, maybe 20 years old, and he looked at me like I was crazy. But he was patient. Showed me how to paddle, how to stand up, how to balance. I fell off that board more times than I can count, but I didn't care. Every time I got knocked down, I'd get back up laughing, the salt water in my mouth, the sun on my back. And then, after about an hour, I did it. I caught a wave, a small one, but I rode it all the way to the shore. I stood on that beach, soaking wet, my arms aching, and I felt like I was 20 years old again. I felt like I could do anything. I spent the next few months traveling, trying new things, chasing joy wherever I could find it. I went to a music festival in Texas, danced to live music until midnight, something I'd never done before. I hiked in the Rocky Mountains, even though my knees complained the whole way. I took a cooking class in New Orleans, learned how to make gumbo, and ate so much I thought I'd burst. I even tried skydiving. Yes, skydiving at 65. I was terrified, but I did it. And when I was up there, falling through the sky, I felt more alive than I ever had in my life. I think what surprised me most about this journey was how much I learned about myself. I'd spent so long being Robert the accountant, Robert the dad, Robert the provider, that I'd forgotten who Robert the person was. But on this journey, I found him. I found the guy who loves adventure, who loves to laugh, who loves to feel the sun on his face. I found the guy who's not afraid to take risks, to try new things, to live for himself. I'd spent my whole life thinking I had to be responsible, that I had to put everyone else first. But at 65, I realized it's okay to put myself first sometimes. It's okay to have fun. It's okay to live. Of course, this journey hasn't been all sunshine and rainbows. There have been hard moments. Too. I've had days where I felt lonely, days where I missed Linda so much it hurt, days where I wondered if I'd made the right choice. I've had to deal with practical stuff. Too. Money isn't endless, and I've had to be careful with my savings. I've had health scares, a bad cold in Arizona, a twisted ankle in Colorado, and I've had to face the reality that I'm not young anymore. My body isn't what it used to be, and I have to take things slower than I'd like. But even with all of that, I wouldn't trade this journey for anything. I've learned that life isn't about being perfect. It's about being present, about finding joy, about living while you still can. I think a lot of older folks in the West struggle with this. Don't we? We spend our lives working, sacrificing, putting our dreams on hold. And then we get to retirement and we're too afraid to take chances. We're afraid of what people will think, afraid of failing, afraid of running out of time. I read a study that said something like 70% of retirees in the U.S. wish they'd taken more risks in their lives, wish they'd traveled more, tried more, lived more. I didn't want to be one of those people. I didn't want to look back at 80 or 90 and say, I wish I'd done more. I wanted to do more now while I still can. My kids have come around, by the way. At first, they were worried, but now they're my biggest cheerleaders. James calls me every week to hear about my latest adventure. He says he's proud of me, that I'm showing him it's never too late to live. Lisa sends me pictures of my grandkids, tells me they can't wait to hear more grandpa stories. Mark even joined me for a weekend in Vegas. We went to a concert, played some slots, laughed until we couldn't breathe. It's been so good to reconnect with them. Not as a dad who's always working, but as a dad who's living, who's happy, who's found himself. I've also met so many incredible people on this journey. Other older folks who are chasing their own dreams, younger folks who remind me to keep an open mind, strangers who become friends. I met a woman in Colorado, Ellen, who's 70 and runs a little coffee shop in the mountains. She told me she started the shop after her husband passed away because she wanted to do something that made her happy. I met a guy in California, Tom, who's 68 and travels the country in an RV with his dog. He said, "Robert, I spent my whole life working. I'm not wasting a single day now." These people, these stories, they've inspired me, reminded me that I'm not alone, that it's never too late to start living. I've been thinking a lot about what this journey means, about why it's been so important to me. I think, for me, it's about reclaiming the time I lost. It's about making up for all the years I didn't laugh, didn't dance, didn't dream. It's about proving to myself and to anyone who's listening that you don't have to stop living just because you're older. You don't have to give up on fun, on adventure, on joy. You can be 65, 75, 85, and still chase your dreams. You can still try new things, still laugh, still live. I know not everyone can do what I did. Not everyone can sell their house and hit the road. But I think we can all find ways to bring more joy into our lives, no matter our age. Maybe it's taking a dance class at the senior center. Maybe it's booking that trip you've always wanted to take. Maybe it's just sitting outside with a cup of coffee, watching the sunrise, letting yourself feel the moment. We don't have to do big, crazy things to live. We just have to do the things that make us happy, the things that make us feel alive. I've also been working on taking better care of myself. I've lost some weight since I started this journey. Not because I'm trying to look good, but because I feel better when I'm active. I've been eating better. 2, less fast food, more fresh fruits and veggies. I've been making time for rest. 2, listening to my body when it tells me to slow down. I want to keep living this way for as long as I can. And that means taking care of myself, giving myself the energy to keep going. I think one of the biggest lessons I've learned is that life is short, shorter than we think. I spent 40 years working, thinking I had all the time in the world, but I didn't. Linda's passing taught me that. We don't know how much time we have, so we have to make the most of it. We have to live while we can, love while we can, laugh while we can. I wish I'd learned that sooner, but I'm so glad I learned it at all. I'm not sure what the future holds for me. I'm still on the road, still chasing adventures, still finding new things to try. I've been thinking about settling down somewhere warm, maybe Arizona or Florida, but I'm not ready to stop yet. I want to keep going, keep exploring, keep living. I want to see more sunsets, catch more waves, dance to more songs. I want to keep feeling this alive. Before I wrap up, I want to share a little poem I wrote, something that captures what this journey has meant to me. It's called The Wild in Me, and I hope it speaks to you the way it does to me. Here it goes. For years I lived in black and white, a life of work, of endless fight. But at 65, I broke away, found color in the light of day. The road, the waves, the skies so wide, I found the wild I'd locked inside. So here I stand at 67, free, alive, and chasing heaven. I hope that resonates with you. Let's remember that it's never too late to live, never too late to find joy, never too late to be wild. If you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling like life has passed you by, I want you to know you're not alone. You can still chase your dreams, still have fun, still live, whether you're 65, 75, or 95. Let's do it together. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Have you ever wanted to break free and chase a dream? What's stopping you? Let's keep this conversation going. And if you found this video helpful, please give a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who might need to hear this message. Until next time, take care of yourself and go live a little. You're worth it.